Let's talk about dinosaurs and how old the world is. I know when I say dinosaur, this is what you think of, but this is not it. As it turns out, when we're talking about dinosaurs, this is more like what we're speaking of. As it turns out, most of them had feathers, and T-Rex's little arms are misrepresented because those are just the stubs that remain of what used to be his wings. The dinosaur, and they still didn't draw it right. How do I know? Behold the cockatrice from English mythology. You know the scientists say the velociraptor turned into chickens, also known as a basilisk. Here's another version. This should be starting to look familiar according to things you've heard. Oh, this idea is not new. That's Quetzalcoatl. Winged feathered serpents that are also intelligent deities. The cockatrice is a mythological chimera, a mixture between two creatures that ought not to have been. And so we all remember when Helen Fields found some soft tissue in a T-Rex. And by that I mean red blood cells, that's some bone marrow, bone-building cells still intact. 'Twas a female dinosaur, and the scientific dismissal of these facts is that iron preserved all of this. And it did, but for how long? Let's talk about the age of the Earth. First of all, carbon dating is out the window. It's unreliable and proven so, because industrialization has artificially been converting carbon-14 into carbon-12, and every living thing on the planet has been absorbing that carbon-12. So if you were to date a specimen that died today, it would look like it was 30 to 50,000 years old right off the bat. And so throw it out, it's no good at all. Prehistoric wildfires could have done the same thing. Volcanic eruptions, forget it. Yeah, but how are they dating the rocks to determine the age of everything on Earth? Well, it's a real similar story. Radiometric dating relies on the stability of certain isotopes that under perfectly normal conditions will decay at a certain rate, millions of years. And so we just assume that they're constant and there are no events that could have artificially changed those numbers somehow? How can they hold that opinion in their ignorance the same way they did with carbon-12? That's how. There's an impact site in Greenland. Impacted with what? What was in that thing that fell from heaven and hit Greenland? What kind of nuclear reactions or radiations has this Earth seen? Well, there's nuclear glass in the desert, I can tell you that. These fellas have 5 pieces of a puzzle together and try to declare to you what the picture is. This puzzle has 175,000 pieces, fellas. And that's just to get you started. Science is now coming to the conclusion that this whole thing is a simulation because it is. Reality hidden behind a veil everywhere your 5 senses can take you. Perception is a tricky thing in a structure with 11 dimensions. Or more. I know when I fire up my VR headset, the reality in it does not have to evolve into existence. It's on. Takes it a second to fully populate and then it's running. Now I got 12 seconds left and too much to say yet. I'll just tell you the history of the Earth as told to you by the mainstream authorities is a fairy tale. And the truth has been in front of your eyes the whole time.